This gorgeous shrub is a leptospermum, and leptospermums are fantastic plants to attract pollinators because when they flower, they're packed with nectar and pollen. And this is a great example. It is smothered in flies. And we overlook the importance of flies in the role of pollination because bees always steal the limelight. But flies are crucial pollinators, and some of them, including hoverflies and blowflies, are some of the best pollinating insects that we have. This particular leptospermum has got all sorts of different types of flies in it. There are hoverflies and blowflies. There are black house flies. There are flower-feeding march flies. And there's a whole heap of flies which I have no idea what they are. There's iridescent green ones and red ones. There's tiny little long-legged flies. There are so many different types of flies, I really don't know where to begin. But what is interesting is that it's nearly all flies that are pollinating this shrub. And they're all here attracted to the abundant pollen and nectar that this plant produces. Like bees, flies have hairy bodies. And while they're busy feeding on the abundance of nectar, those hairy bodies collect pollen which they transfer between flowers. What I find really interesting is the strange aroma of this leptospermum. While the smell of the flowers is not unpleasant, they do have this strange, earthy, musty smell. It must be the reason that it's so attractive to flies, and it's bringing them to these flowers as the primary pollinators. Flies tend to get a bad rap. People associate them with dirt and disease and death. And only entomologists really love flies. But flies are not all bad. Flies are essential pollinators, and they're crucial to our food security. In fact, they're second only to bees with regard to pollination of plants that we eat. And they're also essential for native plants such as this leptospermum. So the much maligned fly is actually not all bad. We really should consider its role in the environment before we condemn it. Flies are also really important for recycling nutrients into the environment. So they're essential for both fertilizing the plants but also pollinating the plants. So maybe we need to start to look at flies a little differently and embrace them and realize that they're doing more good than harm, and they're actually working for us and not against us. I'm Catherine Kermode. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for the next adventure from my wild backyard.